Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. I'm sure everyone was making preparations for Hurricane Laura in the past couple days at the supermarket, getting water, getting batteries, getting supplies. So I don't know what part of town everybody's living in, but hopefully you got the precautions necessary. And prayers up for everybody that may be directly affected, and those of us who might just get a cursory glance. Make sure that we lend a helping hand and check on one another as we go forward. So, um, again, I want to welcome everybody. This is a team meeting today at 11 o'clock, and the topic for today is rising stars. Hey, LaShawn, how you doing? We got LaShawn joining, and we have our fearless team leader, Chad St. Jean, on the call.
All right, welcome. You're broadcasting and live. Look at the rock stars we got today.
That's right. That's right.
Cool. I'm only in here to interrupt and to mess with Keith, so I'll let him go.
Again, the theme of today is rising stars. And I thought it would be a great idea to have some new faces, some new voices on the call to share their experience and some of the success that they're experiencing and some of the things they've done to get them to the place where they're at right now. So I'm going to do a brief introduction. We have Akil Verk, who is relatively new to real estate. He is in the PC program, but he's doing some amazing things. We have Patricia Johnson, I'll call her Patty, but Patricia Johnson, who started in PC, but is now out of PC and still making it happen on a grand scale. And welcome to our family, the KW family, LaShawn Byrne. He was with another major brokerage and decided to join us. And since he's joined us, has been absolutely on fire. So let's get into it. Hey, LaShawn, you're still muted. So if you can unmute yourself. But let's jump into this for everybody. And I like for folks to get an idea, some of your background and kind of where you started. So I'm going to ask you a general question. How long have you guys been in real estate? I'm going to start with you, Akil. How long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate since March 2019. So it's been like 1.5 years. So I got my license and started with the Keller Williams Southwest.
Okay. All right. So you got your license and came immediately to KW?
Yes.
What'd you do before real estate?
Before real estate, I was in the army in Pakistan. So I retired as a major from Pakistan Army.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Cool.
Patricia, that question is coming to you now. How long you been in real estate and what did you do before?
So I've been in real estate 3 years. May or June made it about 3 years. Now, how long have I been practicing real estate? Like, really? So maybe about the last 1.5 years is when I really applied myself. And I am still a salon owner. So I have a salon in Sugar Land. So that's what I did before real estate.
Okay. All right. LaShawn, you're up. What's up?
The question is, how long have I been in real estate?
How long you been in real estate and what did you do before real estate?
I've been in real estate over 20 years. So before I got in real estate, I was a paralegal with Texas Instruments. But I got in on the lending side and then migrated over to this side maybe 6 years ago.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Good deal. All right. So the obvious question is, okay, Akil, you came here after being in the military. What made you decide on real estate?
My father, he is in real estate for more than 25 years back in our country, Pakistan. Mm-hmm. So I had some idea of real estate, and when I took early retirement from the army, the only option I thought for me is the real estate.
The only thing you do. Okay. Okay. All right, Patty, what's up with you?
Well, how I got into real estate? Well, I was I had another business that I was doing, and I was there. I was at a networking event, networking and talking about that particular business. It was my day to speak that day. And when I spoke, another lady from another Keller Williams office approached me and said, "You'd be good in real estate." Other than that, I had no clue. I never even thought about it.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Hey, LaShawn. Okay, so I have a little idea. You were started in the lending side, and would you say the answer is a natural migration in to the sales side?
Yeah, yeah. I was an underwriter for a lender for a long time, and then I moved into a sales position with lenders. I worked as a sales rep and account executive for lenders for a long time. Right before the mortgage implosion, you know how it was good back then. So then after that, I did that. After the mortgage implosion, I went into some other sales positions, selling investments and annuities and stuff like that. But then I got back into the lending industry as it picked back up. And so I got back in on the lending side again. And then again, 6 years ago, I moved over into the to the real estate side.
All right. Okay. Excellent. So I want to hear about the journey in real estate. So you guys come back to real estate, or you jump in. Tell me about some of the early challenges you faced in your business, especially, I'm gonna go in reverse order. Let's start with you, LaShawn. You've been doing this for 6 years now. Tell me about some of the early challenges, and just, kind of lay that out for us. And what did you experience, and what kept you going?
I guess the early challenges is what most people face, is the prospecting or the trying to grow your network. Trying to identify prospects, without coming off salesy or anything like that. I think that's the most common challenge. Where to get the business from? How am I going to generate business?
Okay.
That probably was the early challenge.
The early challenge. All right. Tell me some of the things you did to get over it. What did you do to get through it?
I have a sales background, and so and I tell people this all the time. You can't be afraid to network, and you can't be afraid to speak. People don't know what you do unless you tell them what you do. And so increasing your network of people that you are interacting with, and maybe even changing, because that's one of the things that I found that was a booster for me, is diversifying the type of people that I interact with. Joining Rotary clubs, joining professional, joining community-based organizations, altruistic organizations, that you get a cross section of people from a diverse background. It has to be almost organic. You can't come in thinking the sole driver is to increase your client base. The driver needs to be I need to meet people, and let people meet me and get an understanding of what people do and where they are in life and where I am in life. And so that creates the synergy to grow your network.
Okay, so you had to step out of your comfort zone and form some relationships with
Yes,
some new people,
exactly.
and new circles.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, Patty, I'm gonna come to you. Same question. What were some of the challenges you faced early on in your business, and what are you doing to kind of overcome that?
So like the major challenge with me that I faced early on in the business was just being silent about what I did. And also leaning more towards that I had a crutch, and my crutch was my salon, and that was my crutch. So what brought me out of that, it was, honestly, if I have to say, it was God first and foremost during this pandemic. And the pandemic, when I realized that, now during the pandemic, I could not earn for 2 months because it was a salon. And I mean, that was just the last thing that people were thinking about getting done was their hair. Mm-hmm. But as I just scroll through the MLS and HAR, and I'm seeing 8 out of 9 homes pending, it's a pandemic, but people still need a place to live. So that is what opened my eyes. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, God truly has kept me during the pandemic. I have to give him all the credit. and I also have to give him the credit for giving me the opportunity and preparing me in advance, even though I didn't see it. I didn't see it then. That he prepared me in advance to be able to be positioned to still be able to earn during a pandemic. So that's exactly what changed it for me. It has to be this pandemic.
Wow. So I hear you saying a couple of things. You received a blessing in the middle of a crisis. You know, the pandemic's going on. We're all kind of losing our minds, so to speak. But in that moment, you got some clarity that you had already been positioned to be able to take care of yourself, even in that situation. The other thing I heard you say that's important is, I'm going to borrow a Tony Robbins phrase. You got to burn the boat sometime. And that crutch of your salon was somewhat holding you back. And the pandemic basically eliminated that crutch for you, saying, I'm going to shut that down. There's no money coming from your salon. So now what you going to do? And you owned up to that and stepped to the plate. So definitely kudos to you for doing that. Akil, tell us about you. Some of the early challenges you faced in your business, and how did you get through it?
My challenge was to ask for a business to anyone. So being in a PC coaching, I think helped me a lot, especially Gary. So I would do cold calling, door knocking, open houses, and I was not getting any, leads or anything. So I discussed with Gary on bi-weekly or weekly basis that this is the thing I'm doing, what I can do. I'm doing cold calling, I'm door knocking, I'm doing open houses, but it's not working. So then he told me, and I also, felt that I'm not that good to talk to people who I don't know. So he advised me, and I started going to different network events. So when I first meet any people, so I don't discuss the real estate. So when I have, a little interaction with them, second or third time, it was really easy for me to talk to them and ask for the business. So that was a key thing, like networking with the people and then asking for the business. So that is where my business started, progressing.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna ask you to be a little bit vulnerable and transparent. Have either of you reached the point where you said, you know what, this isn't working, I'm done. Real estate just isn't for me, and I'm gonna do something else? Have either of you reached that point, and what made you fight through that you're still here? So I'm gonna start back with you, Akil. Did you ever get to that point of saying, this isn't working, I'm done, I want to do something else?
I never got to that point, but I was worried. I was not making any money. And again, I discussed that with Yana, and she said that, work your best and, give it a time. Like everything you start new, it takes some time. So I was never at the point that where I wanted to quit, but of course I was worried that how I'm going to pay my bill if it continues like that.
Right. All right. So what was the breakthrough for you? What was the breakthrough? What was that thing that kind of got you to the point where you felt confident and you want to keep growing?
As I already said, that, as I started going to different network events and started building relation with the people, from there I started getting leads, and my business started getting rolling.
So networking and building relationships. So even at the networking thing, it had to be a couple interactions before you started talking about real estate.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I cannot ask for a business for the first time I talk to somebody or see somebody.
Right. Okay, Patty, same question. Did you get to a point where you was thinking, you know what, I don't need this real estate just isn't for me. I could go back to just running my salon. Did you ever think that?
Daily. Daily. I can say that daily. Because you just get so frustrated, especially when you're working with buyers and you take them out, you look at, 5, 6 homes, they all begin to look alike. You call people, then people you've spoken to, you find out that they work with someone else, but you just have to believe that it's not your timing, it's God's timing. And
Right.
when God says that it's time, it will happen. And, and so that's where I am now. I just say, now it's God's time. And I had to just rechange my focus. I was focusing on all the wrong things and, not networking like, the other guy said, with the right people, not asking the right questions. and really just not making it a priority again because I had a crutch. So yeah, but I'm there daily when your phone dings at 3 in the morning because I found this house at 3 in the morning. I'm like, this is not for me. I should be asleep. But yeah, on a daily basis. But I found, I think I found my niche, and I'm just gonna try to stick with that for right now instead of trying to do so many things and not mastering any of them, and find out one thing I can master and work with that until I'm led to do something different.
Okay, so when you said you had to change your focus, kind of if you could elaborate on that just a little bit.
I had to change my focus and just realize that, Yana would say this, I've heard Chad say that the business will come. And it does come, but you got to go and get it. And I guess I was just hoping that it'll just come. And so I changed my focus and just said that I couldn't be quiet anymore because, like, again, during the pandemic, I'm a single parent. I have a child in college. And I didn't want to deny her not being able to go to school because I couldn't earn. So I changed my focus and said, you know what, you just have to do it. And I mean, taking bowl and all the other classes that they have around the office, and even in one of my workout classes, there are just little things that you hear over and over that become repetition. Even some of the things I've heard in bowl, I hear my workout, this guy I followed, I hear him saying some of those same things, and now they're just in me now because it's just a matter of time. I wasn't using them then. I realized the time is now. What better opportunity? You can't think about what you did in the past. You only have to worry about what you can do now in the future going on.
Excellent. Okay, Sean, same thing. Did you ever get to the point, you know what, I've had success in sales, selling mortgages. I don't need to deal with the public in real estate. Did you ever get to that point?
No, I don't think I ever got to the point that I felt like it wasn't worth it. I wanted to quit because I'd been in and around enough and experienced it enough to know everything runs in cycles. So there have been low points when you can do all the right things and still it not yield the immediate results. But as Patty was saying, a lot of that is timing and being consistent. And so typically when I'm failing or feel like I'm failing, most of the time if I just be honest with myself, is I'm not being consistent somewhere in one area or another. And so as Patty said, you'll refocus, regroup. But I know what the business will yield. So I never let me get out. Because at this point, I put too much into it and got a whole lot out of it to know what it can be and what it can't be.
Okay. All right. My next question is there any specific tool, system, or training that you feel has helped you get to the level where you are right now? Can you point to one specific thing that really is like, if I hadn't done this, or I wouldn't see the success I'm having right now? Let's start with you, LaShawn.
If there is any specific tools,
systems of training you had.
Systems of training. It's hard for me to nail it down to one thing. I mean, if you do something long enough, you just get more experience and you get better. It's just refining your craft, right? So you get in what you put out. So I think, understanding negotiations, being, and people have their own point of view, but when I'm negotiating, I try to be dispassionate, not put my feelings into it. It helps negotiate with the other side. Understanding also when you're working with buyers, how personal homes are to them. And this is, for most buyers, this is the largest investment they'll ever make. So being understanding and patient and removing yourself out of it and making it, if I had to narrow the thing, that's it. Always making it about the client, never about yourself. No matter if you how detailed or how granular that you have to get, or how many times they call, or how many houses you have to see, or how many questions they ask pre and post buy. Because I have buyers that I've closed a month or two ago, and they call me about everything, you know. But that's part of the service. So, and part of understanding that, hey, this is a big investment for them. They leaned on you. Don't disappear once you're on the other side. So, if I had to narrow, it's not because we're in the people business. So this is all, you know, all the bells and whistles, the CRMs or platforms, all that's good in enhancing what you do, but understanding people is the crutch of everything that we do.
Relationships. Gotcha.
Yes.
Patty, if you could point to one or two things that's kind of helped propel you to where you are, any systems, any training.
Back to the basics. You know, during the pandemic, and I was not an advocate of bold. I was not. But during pandemic, you're at home, you're tired of watching TV, and I mean, it's not many. You know, you get tired of talk to people on the phone. You know, and one day I pulled out my bold book. Back to the basics. So I just kind of went. You know, I said it's a reason why I didn't know the bold book out after bold.
Right.
So I pulled out my bold book. That got me, you know, reacclimated. And also you have to pick the right mentors. And I was a part of the pre-seed program, and I appreciate all that they've done for me. But you have to have the right mentors, and that was very important for me. So I'm out of the pre-seed program, and then, you know, I've linked up with two other Keller Williams. They work, two other women from Keller Williams that they're in our office. And I've linked up with them, and that particular mode of mentorship works for me. Okay. So and what I had to do was just take out of comparing myself to others and figure out what works best for me. And once I figured that out, which I'm still figuring it out, but I think I kind of got a hand on it, that's working for me. Instead of, you know, trying to do it. You can do it your own way without reinventing the wheel completely, because you still need the wheel that was already invented to work the business. But you just have to figure out what part of the wheel works for you. And that's what really helped me. Excellent.
Excellent. All right, Akil, if you could point to one thing, one training or a system or something that's really helped you jumpstart your business the way it has, what would you say it is?
Actually, it's not one thing, but the complete training system of Keller Williams, I feel that that has helped me a lot. Starting from the Ignite and then Bold and then being part of the PC coaching. So simply following the model of, you know, Keller Williams, I joined, I took Ignite, and then there was a Bold. Fortunately, after like 2 months in our market center, I took Bold, and then being the part of the PC coaching. So I went through a route which is already defined, and not only in real estate, I was new here in the country as well. So I not only learned the real estate, but many other things, which I feel that if I would have not been part of the Keller Williams, I would have took a long time to learn. So thanks to the system, which always was there, and I followed the system, and I think that I'm quite successful.
All right. So this is where any meeting to meet, in order to be successful, you have to give your audience something. So what advice would you give someone in PC, somebody that's left PC, somebody that's another company and is looking at the landscape saying, maybe I need a change? I'm going to ask each of you to kind of give your own spin. What advice would you give someone sitting out there watching this that's kind of in that position? They may have just made a transition. What can you leave? What advice would you give them?
So my advice is that you have to find your niche. For example, for lead generation, there are different methods: open houses, cold calling, door knocking. So you have to find your niche. Just find your niche and then be consistent, and you will get business.
Okay, Patty.
Yeah, I'll have to second that. Find your niche, and the biggest thing I could say is that my biggest mistake is, because I'm around a pool of people on a daily basis, you can't be a silent realtor. You just can't. You have to ask for the business, and just let people know what you do. You know, it's like everyone has always said, it's about relationships. I'm a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for over 25 years, and I didn't want to mix the two because I didn't want to run my clients away from getting their hair done because I was asking them about real estate. But guess what? They already know me. They already like me, and they already trust me. And that is where my business has come from. I mean, I even reached out to an ex, and the last deal I closed was $486,000 house. I got it from an ex. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you just basically is open your mouth, let people know what you do, and ask for the business.
Okay, all right. LaShawn, what would you advise?
You know, very similar to Patty and Akil. One thing that Akil touched on in terms of finding your niche, and this is very similar to that, is work the things that you are really good at, the things that you really do best. Focus on those things. Too many people will, you know, if you have a weakness, you will try to improve on that weakness, and you will spend a lot of energy in that area, and you will never be as good as you will be in these other areas that you are already excelling at. So if there's some area, if you're really good at networking or you know, talking to people, ramp that up, boost that up. If you're really good at doing CRM or the digital marketing, ramp that up, boost it up. The things that you do well, put your foot to the pedal on that, and you will. And as Akil said, the business is gonna come. Put your foot to the pedal on those things and be consistent with it, and it'll come.
All right, I got one more question that popped in my head. You triggered it, LaShawn, so I gotta go with it. What do you guys see happening with the market going forward? Just kind of give me your outlook on it. What do you see, and what advice would you give? Let's start with you, LaShawn.
The market is good right now. I gotta say, I've lots of builder relationships. You know, they can't, you know, in a certain price range, everything is moving. In that 250 to 350 price range, everybody's buying. As you go higher, stay a little longer, but rates are so low. There's so many deals to be had. This local market is really good. So if you get out there, market yourself, you're gonna get business if you're consistent with it. But the local market is great right now.
Okay, Patty, what are you seeing, and, you know, how are you approaching going into the third and fourth quarter?
I'm approaching the third and fourth quarter harder than I did the first and second quarter. The market looks really good, and it's a game changer in your career now. Right now, if you want to take that chance and try to, you know, make that change in your career, this is the time. The time is now. I mean, you know, it's a basic conversation. Don't overthink it. Don't overspeak it. And when people ask me, what does the market look like? I said, it just, you know, what price range are you talking about? And then we can talk. Because again, anything between, you know, like he said, 250 and under, up to like 300, those things are really moving, and they move quickly. I mean, if you look on MLS, you pull up 9 homes, anywhere between 189,000 to 215, 8 out of the 9 are pending. Right. That says something. That says something. And I mean, the pool of buyers in that market is much greater than the pool of buyers in 450,000. And it's not about, you know, quantity all the time. It's just, to me, it's about, I want to be the best at what I can do, what I am for my client. And so if I'm working smaller ticket numbers to have happier clients, that makes me happy as well.
Okay, got it. Akil, what would you say?
No, market is looking really good. I have had this experience with more than 3 or 4 buyers that I will send them the properties, like 3-4 properties, and they would they're thinking for 1 day or 2 days, and when we go back and look at the properties, all 4 or 5 whatever I've sent them, they're under contract. So again, the price point matters. Anything 300 or below, that is selling fast. and hopefully that continues.
Okay. All right. Well, I really want to thank you guys. It was really refreshing to hear your stories and that you were willing to share with everyone here. And I think, you guys got me all pumped up. So I'm sure someone out there can relate to some of the things you said, and hopefully it encourages them. Chad, you got anything you want to add?
Well, I'm just going to recap what I hear and just clarify it. And I hope people are on here, you take notes. Here's what I heard. People don't know what you do unless you tell them. People don't know what you do unless you tell them. Diversify your group and the people you're around and let it happen organically, right? Just be in relationship with people. It takes time. It's almost care before the sale. And when the sale happens, your service is not done. If we stop the service and the care when the sale's done, that's called commission breast, right? Keep with them. And Patty was saying her challenge was she just remained silent, right? Know what you do well and go out and articulate that with people too. And the more you talk to them, and sometimes a blessing comes in a pandemic. And if you have a crutch and your crutch is another job or another avenue, it was actually holding you back. So in a crisis, there's two things that happens in a crisis, right? One is chaos. It brings us to it. The other is an opportunity that really puts forward. Akil, again, just kept saying, when he got in relationship, if he went there and asked for the business and he didn't know who they were and he was nothing happened. Yet when he showed and followed up and got in relationship, that was a breakthrough. Really good stuff, right? Fear or faith. You got to choose one. Choose faith. Choose that the activities you're doing are going to pay off if you remain consistent. If you do it long enough, anything, if you do it long enough, it's going to pay off. We see so many times in this industry where somebody's being consistent, they get frustrated, want to throw in the towel, and you're like, no, keep doing it. The dam's going to break loose. And of course, all of us have doubt, right? I think all of you said, yeah, I've doubted myself at one time or another. And the older, maybe the wiser, the longer you doing it, no, I know models and systems work if I keep doing. I also heard the big word of fiduciary. LaShawn didn't use actually the word, but yet a fiduciary is putting your client's needs, their desires above our own. And the industry that we move into, when we talk about Zillow or mortgage companies or Redfin, that there's not a fiduciary in that. And that's what sets us apart. And the last piece is know, like, trust, right? If people know, like, and trust you, they'll transfer that right over to real estate. You can sell them a house and do their hair at the same time.
Right.
That's good stuff. I appreciate you going on. We hear new voices when we get on here, and it's, Say that, Patty.
It took me 3 years to realize I could do your hair and sell you a house.
Yeah. Well, because they know, like, and trust you. If somebody's going to sit in a chair and allow you to touch their hair, you can also help them with one of the largest investment that you're working with. Probably home buying is more critical, right? Because it is the largest investment in selling. And know your stuff. LaShawn talked about he's good at negotiating. Well, if you don't tell anybody that, they don't know if you're good or not. He just eliminates the emotion and he creates the opportunity to negotiate and do it at a hard time. I don't know. I've received more calls in this office lately because so many people were so emotional. Clients, agents, and we got to get people out of that and think logical and thinking is true. And it's hard right now to pull people through. Right? We're all going through this little struggle. If it's the pandemic, kids are going back to school. They're not in school. Oh, we're going to go back to school. Now we got a hurricane. We got tension across our country at an all-time rate, right? We have an election coming up that's going to be the wildest ride that we've ever seen. And yet, if we truly care about people, we check into them and we hear their perspective and we listen and check in, I'm telling you, we're going to win with that. And real estate will show up. And it is a weird market. I wish I could explain it all to you. It's built up, is an interest rate, but we're still so let's go make it happen today.
Let me say, one thing I heard was craft. LaShawn used the word. And it took me a while. it's more than just something you do. It's a passion, and that you want to keep getting better at it. You want to keep learning something new, some little aspect of it to make you better. You know, we talk about sports figures like Kobe Bryant. Basketball was his craft. We need to be the same way in our real estate business. Whatever it is that you do well.
Yeah.
Keep getting better. Get some little nuance that will take you to a new height. So always be looking, always be learning, and always be in relationship and be ready to serve. So
what I found, Keith, is when you do that, it really differentiates you from the last realtor they work with. You give them a bit of knowledge. It could be so simple as understanding, you know, why an AC unit is set up this way versus another way, or why the home is retrofitted with electricity versus gas. I mean, it's so many nuances and people are asking agent a ton of stuff that really has nothing to do with the negotiation of the price of the home, but they don't know. And so they come to you as a catch-all, and that gives credibility, it gives trust, and it gives faith, and it really makes them such a good source of referrals, which is what we want down the road.
Yeah.
thank you, guys.
Let me say one more thing before we
Sure.
get out. I just want to say thanks, Chad and Keith, you know, for allowing all of us to get on here today. Because one thing that I really miss being at the office. I do. And when you're at the office, it does make you kind of, you know, push yourself a little bit more. But it's truly a blessing for you all to have us on the panel today, because sometimes when you're starting off or you've been in real estate for a long time and you're not producing, a lot of times because we compare ourselves to some of the heavy hitters, the rainmakers, as everyone calls them. And it's nice for you all to have us on here because, like you said, we're rising stars, whether we've been in business 1 month or 5 years, 20 years down the line, but we're still rising. So it gives the other newer agents coming on, or people that have been in business but just been stagnant in their business, a chance to see that no matter where you are in business, you can still make your business the best business. You know, you can still produce and, you know, get to the next level in your business. So again, thanks for just having us, you know, us regular folks on.
Well said.
Well said.
But you're no longer regular folks. Now that you've been on the panel, you better double your business in the next 12 months.
I'm with that.
Yeah, I'm with that too.
Awesome. Well, it was good stuff. I don't care if you're listening to the top producer in the country. It's all about the fundamentals, right? Work to your strength. Success is simple, right? Didn't say it was easy. We usually are the one that gets in our way. We got things that are going on in our head, and we're hearing voices, and we're all jacked up, right? We're all working through issues, and yet it's getting up, doing the work that's necessary, and we know it's going to pay off. You just keep doing it. Time on task is what it's all about. So awesome stuff. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Proud to be in business with you, and keep rocking and rolling.
Thanks, Chad. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you. So let's bring on our partners.
You guys can hang out or you can jump off, your choice. I mean, Dale's just so busy. He's on the phone closing deals. Look at him work it. I mean, geez.
Well, I'm going to jump off. I got to write a contract.
Okay, great. Go do that. Thanks for coming in.
All right.
All right, Dale's busy.
Okay, I'll put him on hold 1 second.
Okay. All right, great. And we don't have Reliant, so this is our 2.
All right, Letitia.
Hey, how are you guys?
How are you?
Well, as good as I can get considering what's coming. You know, I'm trying to strap stuff down and make sure my trash cans don't end up in the front of my house. So I'll work on it.
That's right.
But thank you guys for having me. I wasn't sure what was talked about before I came on, but I do hope everybody stays safe And I hope that everybody is aware of what is coming, by the way. Celebrity title, we're taking it day by day. So right now we're in office till the end of the day, but depending on what happens tonight, some of our staff may or may not be in the office. I just want to make everybody aware of that. We're working around our staff and making sure they're staying safe and their families are safe. So we're going to do whatever that means. At the end of the day, if they need to stay home because they're not in a good place, then they're going to stay home. So just be aware, if you have a closing with us, we will kind of reach out to you in the morning and let you know where we are. And that, please, if you have a closing with us, reach out to us and let us know how you are. Make sure everybody is safe with that. Outside of that, I do have a class today, Understanding Title Commitment at 2 o'clock. It's a CE credit class that's available. So if anybody wants to still register, you're all welcome to still go online and do that. And I will be doing that myself. So I'll be teaching that. We did have to cancel one of our other classes because the underwriter and the COVID and everything that happens with that, we all know how that is. But this is me doing it and I'm on board and I'm definitely going to be there for you guys. So if you need anything or if you want to come on at 2 o'clock, just let me know, sign in, and we're here. Outside of that, we're kind of like you guys. We're watching the weather, hoping for the best. And we're just going to keep on chugging along. You know, we've always been open. Our doors will be open as long as we can keep them open. So that's our plan right now. I don't really have anything else going on. I'll have more next week because I'm just kind of watching to see what's happening. We have
So
lots
you're
of
still planning on doing headshots tomorrow?
We have canceled that. So we've already
Okay.
reached out to everyone who signed up, by the way.
Okay,
So
great.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that every single person, we personally reached out to them via email and phone calls and canceled that. Yeah, the photographer decided he didn't want to like kayak into y'all. So because that might be an
We're not
option.
getting that. This is not Harvey. Let's not panic, people. Big storm.
I
We
know.
we did dodge a little bit of a bullet. How it is heading in a different direction. Yet it is a
Agreed.
big storm, and we know people are going to be impacted. Yet it's going to be to the east of us.
Correct. So we're just being aware. We're rescheduling with him. Once we reschedule with him and we have a date set, everyone who had already signed up, I believe the team has already reached out to you and they've said, we're going to call you first, give you first rights because you already signed up, make sure that everybody's back on onto the blocks that they want to be on, and then we'll send it out massively again. But we definitely appreciate everyone who did sign up, and we want to give you guys back your placement or a different time slot that works better for you, because it will be, we'll try to schedule it about the same time. So it'll be on a Thursday in probably 1 or 2 weeks. So look out for that. Once we have it all set up and we can get with Keller Williams and make sure we get the spot and everything is clean with your schedule and our schedule, we will definitely put that back on for you guys.
Great. I appreciate it.
Where's
Anything
Dale?
else? I'm about
Anything
let's
else?
bring
I
him-
can go on. I mean, I don't see Dale. Where's Dale?
Let's see if he's ready. He's coming on.
There's
Oh.
Dale. So I love coming up there and seeing Dale. He is great. Like, he's funny and he's always in the office, and I mean, he's always available. So I've had a few questions myself I've ran by him, you know, that's come up. And so he's been really great. So I'm going to whoop whoop for Dale. And then I'm going to give a little bit of love for Reliant Energy because they are amazing too. So, hey, Dale.
Hey, Dale.
I'm muting myself for Dale.
Okay.
Thank you
Yeah.
all.
Thank you.
As you know, I am very technically challenged, so I apologize. We've got a workspace that we work in and out of, and one accepts the Zoom calls and the other doesn't. So, Chad, I guess you had a question. What can I do for you?
I had a question. What's going on in, tell us a little bit about the additional charges that you see coming down from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all those good things.
Well, you know, so the media is real quick to respond to things without having a final word. And the word was that it was going to start on September 1st.
Mm-hmm.
They have put a moratorium in place and it will not go into effect until December 1st. What it is a charge, basically, or a surcharge that any lender that delivers a loan to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac after now, December the 1st, it will incur a 0.5% of the loan amount as a charge. So a $400,000 loan will now cost the lender, it could be AMCAP or Bank of America, Chase, whoever it is, 0.5 percentage point, $2,000 in this instance, to deliver a loan to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. You know, a lot of the people involved in the Mortgage Bankers Association nationwide got on board and said, this is just, it's crazy. Basically, we've been doing this for years. They are stating that, It is a more risky loan to do refinances in this market. However, refinances, these people all have equity in their homes. They typically have had a good, clean mortgage payment history in order to qualify for a refinance. So some people just look at it as a money grab. It's the Fannie and Freddie are currently under receivership of the government, and it's a way for them to basically recoup more money from mortgage lenders that deliver loans to them. That's been put on hold.
Yep.
Ultimately, every mortgage company is going to either pass it on as a fee, or we're going to pass it on in higher interest rates, which doesn't better the consumer in this economic environment.
Yeah. So I'm hearing let's have a little sense of urgency. Interest rates are still great. If you've got a buyer and on the fence, that would be another reason to go, look, I'm going to put a little urgency into you. Let's go put something in there. Okay.
Exactly. So one other thing going on with the storm out there, I want to kind of advise, if you guys haven't touched on it, that the agents that have buyers need to contact their lenders. Some lenders will require, regardless if we have 10-mile-an-hour winds here because of the storm, maybe a re-inspection to verify that the property had no damage.
Yeah.
So lenders that are not located in locally may not know the wide scope of the storm, and they may make it mandatory. It means it may cost some extra money, but it may delay closings. Also, if insurance isn't in place with a storm in the Gulf, you will not get an insurance company to bind insurance. Your people, your buyers that are waiting till last minute, or buyers of some of your other side of the transaction, the wait till last minute may cause a delay in being able to get this transaction closed. So be aware. You might want to start making those phone calls so you can prepare everyone now.
Good
Great
stuff.
advice. Great advice.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, don't leave yet. We still got a couple more announcements.
That's right.
You guys can stick on if you want to. If you got to close the deal, you can go close it or do it. All right, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Mega Agent Camp. Do we happen to have a visual of that, Keith? Or
I don't have anything, but let me.
okay, well, great. Mega Agent Camp is going to be virtually this year, right? We know that's coming down, and we now have it as September 15th, 16th, and 17th. Now, I don't want you to think of Mega Agent Camp, even though it's virtual online, is going to be a Zoom. It's a whole nother platform. So what I can tell you is it'll be customized to you. You will have choices. You'll have opportunities to jump in and out of different classes. Some of it's going to be pre-recorded. Some of it's going to be actual masterminds. And yet the experience we're going to do it is when it comes to virtual online opportunities and learning, no one else is touching what we're going to do this in this industry. Gary will be talking about market statistics. His goal for every panel was for people to hear something that he hasn't heard before. So tickets, right? Just for you is $119 for right now. Now we're creating some opportunities and drawings that you can be a part of, yet I don't want you to miss out on the experience. Every one of you are going to be called by the staff. So take the call, look really into it. I think the engagement that is needed more than ever. I get it. I'd love to have a team meeting. I'd love to be in Austin, attending classes, going to 6th Street, having a good time, eating and having fun. It's just not the reality that we live in. And if people say, oh, more Zoom, I'm going to tell you, yeah, that's the world we live in. And think about our kids in school and Zoom and face masks and the thing that they have to go through as well. I'll just tell you, get over it, get engaged. It's a great opportunity, great learning. And I promise you, it's not going to be a waste of your money. You're going to hear some things you haven't heard before. Keith, anything else on that?
I would just one thing I heard from Patty Johnson was she found some support within the office from some other agents. And so it's important for you to find people that kind of where you are and going to build you up. LaShawn said it, you got to surround yourself with the right people. You might need a new circle, but people that are on the same track as you are. And we're a big office, but we need to take the mega church approach and have small groups And it doesn't have to be formal. You find somebody that emulates or performing at a level you want to perform at, approach that person. Said, you mind if we dialogue once a week and just share ideas to get strength and bolster you to pull you through those tough times? Because sound like Patty have defining that connection point after PC has really helped her sustain her business. So open your mouth, reach out. We're here to help. Not just leadership staff. You have agents in the office that are willing to help. So you have to voice your concerns. The closed mouth doesn't get fed. That's the saying. So utilize us. Use everything that we have here. It's an open to you. We're looking to help.
Yeah. Is there a specific list that we can call? No, that's coming in and networking and figuring out different opportunities and just contacting people. But we can help connect to certain agents and find out along the way. All right. Take advantage of Mega Agent Camp. Take advantage of the resources. Resource number one is being the staff. I'm here, Keith's here, the rest of us are here to help. Is there anything we can do to help support and grow your business? Let us know. Great opportunity, right? Any market is a great opportunity. We're seeing a lot of things. Dale gave you some ammunition to get people moving today, right? And then get people to the logical side of this, right? Real estate still makes sense. It's not going to cause a recession. We're going to be solid in real estate. I believe that, especially when it comes to the entry-level properties, that issue and challenge is not going away, even if this pendulum shifts.
That's right.
Okay.
Prepare yourself.
All right. Good panel, Keith. Good job putting that together. We're here to help, and anything we can do to support you, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks. Take care and be safe and check on one another.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.